Yeah, there we go. Hey, Steve, can you hear us?
Donald Trump's favorite.
Are they?
Have you heard that?
I don't know that.
He's talking, but we can't hear him.
You guys hear me?
Something else I didn't want to say.
Say it again?
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, I think.
Okay, we're good.
That's good, that's good. All right, do we have a quorum? Let's see, 1, 2, 3. Yeah, we do, okay. All right, I will call this meeting of the planning board to order. This meeting is being recorded for state law. And we'll proceed. We saw a few people.
There you go.
in.
Hello.
So is there anyone that would like to make a public comment?
I think you're doing a hell of a job.
Appreciate it.
I'm happy to be here.
It's good, it's good. I'm glad that we have some good morale. Okay, landowner education and guidance, I don't think we're gonna have any of this. There was someone that I was speaking with, Mr. Puffer, Janet, and Steve. So he's got one of his lots up there, and there was a question about, something about 1,000 feet. I think the driveway's 1,000 feet maybe, or just some, I don't know, it was a little bit convoluted, but I haven't had a chance to research it much, and so.
What is he gonna do?
He wants to just, I think, sell one of the lots he has as a building lot. He was just wondering if the setbacks are still good. So I just, don't really have the information, and it may be a better question for the ZBA anyway. They just
As I
don't.
recall, he has his property, he has a funky looking, he has some funky looking boundaries. And we should probably be, it's probably a good idea to look at this.
Okay. I would be down to do it. I think since it's given the circumstances with our agenda, I'm gonna not do that now, and then I'll look into that afterwards. So I have updates on the chair on the agenda. There's 2 things I just wanted to mention here. One was that there's been changes made to the zoning act, right, pertaining to, what's it, 2-family units, maybe accessory apartments and whatnot. So we'll need to review those and take some kind of action. Seeing a few different things, like kind of briefly reading the updates we received. But it doesn't really try to take action on that prior to annual town meeting. But I would certainly imagine that's going to be something I will need to make a bylaw update for in order to bring our bylaw into compliance with the new divisions of the zoning.
Nathan, is that at a state level or the changes are?
That's at the zoning act, which is the state level statute. And the other thing was, what was the other thing?
Well, our,
Oh, the attorney general approved our zoning bylaw amendments from, was it special town meeting or
No,
annual town meeting, which included the amendments for special permit conditions. All right, so that's now on the books. And that's fine and dandy. They asked for there was a general bylaw that they asked for an extension for, so we'll wait to see what happens with that. But no problems with the changes to the use table, special permit conditions, and associated members. Thank you very much.
Changes to the what table?
Use table,
Oh, use.
right, which were more or less insignificant, even though they did seem to have some thoughts about it. Now,
one thing on that, maybe you should just coordinate with Grace in terms of updating the website so that we get the most recent zoning bylaws up there, because
Okay.
if you
yeah.
remember 2 years ago, with,
Yeah, right,
what's his
yeah.
face, he was reading the wrong one.
Yeah, we probably should have done that back in April. or-
Well, now that it's approved, we could probably, we have more confidence,
And paper,
yeah. Should
Paper
increase the
copies
cost.
for us.
for us, yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, cause it's way better to have paper.
I agree.
In addition to the online.
Yes, yeah.
Can I ask a question? Can we include the,
Great, thank you.
in the letter that the Assistant Attorney General sent to us, there were things that were underlined that they suggested be added. Can we automatically add those?
No, it'd be another amendment, so
Okay.
we probably should discuss if we want to even bother doing that or not,
Okay,
or wait.
because there were specific things that were underlined that were, I think, of value to us that were included by the Assistant Attorney General.
Yeah, I don't
In
remember those
comments.
were, but there was some things they did.
Basically, the thrust was, they're vague, and there's no specific measurements, and so if you want to have. They suggested we better have firm measurements, but I think that's a bigger discussion in terms of what we do.
Right.
The pride fund has arrived. Yes,
It's late.
Okay,
We may be all set.
it's working,
Steve,
still bothered.
do you
oh,
mind,
Steve has his hand up,
do you mind if I ask a question of the, I just want to know if they can hear us with this.
he's here, but sure.
No, there, oh,
Yeah, go
okay,
ahead.
okay, okay. Steve and Keith, can you hear us okay from your vantage point through the owl?
Yeah, I can hear you. Can you hear me?
So this is working okay for now.
Cool, okay.
And I can hear you as well.
This
Oh,
is for emergency.
And Steve, your hand is up?
Yeah, I just, we're still in the planning board meeting, right?
Yeah,
That's right.
Okay, so I just thought it might be good, Michael, to let everybody know, I mean, I can let them know, but we can talk about what it means briefly, that special commission that's to streamline solar permitting did not pass the legislature.
yes,
They didn't come
Yeah.
to any agreement, and what that means for us and what actions we should think about taking as we move forward. So I
there's a
just
great
wanted
update.
Go ahead, you want to address that?
Well, I think you sort of summarized it. I mean, I think the bottom line is, among other big issues, the legislature couldn't come to agreement in time before the end of the legislative session. Surprise, surprise. Good news for us, because that means that the municipal capacity to regulate clean energy is still in the hands of us. For as much as, as much as Rachel Lane will let us. There was, I saw something in the paper that they're informally still talking. It's basically the House and the Senate have to come to agreement, so. There's huge pressure to pass stuff on climate, and there's huge pressure to get this thing done, so. They can do it in informal session. I think the issue is, as I understand it, informal session. Oh, you can have one person object and then go forward, and I don't think any of the Republicans voted for the climate bills. So you just have to have one Republican raising their hand and then it dies. If they don't act, then they have to start from scratch in January. So, I mean, that's sort of the situation. I haven't thought, Becky,
I believe Aaron Saunders was here today, and he was saying that they are meeting.
Yeah.
Like you said, and he said that if they can reach an agreement before January, something would happen, just like you
Yeah.
said, but he did say they were meeting and went through a number of different issues that they're focused there.
yeah, I mean, I think the big difference, as I understand it, is the House wanted just a little bit of citing, sort of like how you cite clean energy projects, and the Senate had a whole bunch of other stuff that they wanted to add on it, and the House didn't want to do that, so they were fighting over that. I think they're mostly in agreement on citing stuff, at this point, which affects us. So, I mean, it remains to be seen, I think, if something does get passed before January, then we'll find out what the reality is, and if nothing gets passed. I don't necessarily think there's anything we can do proactively, since the legislature helps us. But thank you, Steve, for that. I think it's
Okay.
TBD.
Okay,
You got a reprieve.
Then it's a 2-year, if they don't do it by January 1, it's a 2-year process, you understand?
Yeah, I mean, they don't form committees until the middle of, end of January, then they gotta get all the bills in and signed, and it'll be at least a year. One would hope.
Thank you, Jeff. And, Steve.
I don't
And
know.
now I'm just taking a picture of this because I realize we don't have an electric copy. I don't have a. Can you try and take a picture of this?
I can.
So we're gonna move on to the A and R we have. We're trying to get a picture out, for Steve and Keith.
That got it all. Cool. Okay, you can start and I'll post it when I get it.
So, we received this within the last, week or so. It's got 821 in the form. It's down January Hills Road. There's currently, there's 5 lots that were sold, together under, Conway's. It's now, owned by Dolores Conway. And this A&R breaks it into lots 1, 2, and 3. They ended up writing us a check for $140.
Still thinking,
Yeah,
sorry.
but the thing that, the thing that I'm noticing is, if you want, come over and,
Sure, I mean, I can see this.
yeah, that's
great.
I can see it.
Several of us can see this one.
Yeah. So,
These are the same.
yeah, these are the same. Now, lot 1 has an existing structure on it, and lot 2 and 3 are, seem to be, building lots, right? They've got the 250 feet of frontage. They're both 2.5 plus acres. And then there's this other piece that says remaining land of Dolores Conway. So I don't, they don't call this a lot, but it seems to me that it's a buildable lot because it has 250 feet of frontage. It says so right here on the edge of it. And it says so, sufficient area and frontage remains to satisfy current zoning. So but essentially, it seems like there's, 3 new lots. Depending on how, so I think the fee could be 280 or $210, depending on how you do it.
Do you understand the notations? You need,
That could be,
parcel
I think,
3,
right?
parcel
I think
5.
we're calling that a technical.
Anything about that? In the middle?
Well, I think, so the deed that's referenced, there was 5 parcels that were in that were sold. And so this A&R, more or less rearranges those into different shapes.
I live in this area and I can't quite place it. Is the Atkins Reservoir down here? Is this, because as far as I know, if I'm,
If you look at the top right,
there's
like a, shows the site here.
Oh, I see.
And
oh, thank you, I wasn't seeing that.
I just saw it now too.
Huh. So this is the site that's being developed, and the access is where to this, the access is right.
Oh, yeah.
Greenwood Hills Road?
Yeah, January Hills Road goes right along the whole parcel.
Yeah. So, but the access isn't, there's no access to Kettle Hill Road as far as I can tell.
No, the access is all January Hills Road, yeah.
Okay.
Can you guys see that? Steve?
I can.
Okay,
Yeah.
great.
Yeah,
Yep,
I
I can
can.
see it.
So we're trying to figure out right now how much to charge these people.
Well, no, I mean,
There,
we're
for the
reviewing it, and yeah, I mean, what the charge. Yeah, that is, I mean, I think it should be probably,
The 210 or 280.
210, yeah, I think that.
Okay, and also just seeing if this is all kosher, essentially.
Well, yeah, I mean, like so the high level, thing is that is it a subdivision? Does it show a subdivision? It doesn't, right? I don't know, so because it doesn't show a subdivision, we have we can endorse it, or if we fail to take action on it. Then, the clerk would, have the ability to, create a certificate that, constitutes an endorsement of it, so it could be registered. Or, recorded with the registry of deeds. And, if we were to, formally deny, to endorse it, then that would, essentially we'd have to show cause for why we did that, and, they could take action, relative thereto.
Okay.
On the,
I don't believe we've ever, we hardly ever reject.
right, yeah, there's gotta be something really off.
Yeah.
And also note that, endorsement of this plan does not certify compliance with zoning, right? That's always written on these plans. Right, so, we look at, the frontage, and that's mostly for determining what the fee would be, right?
Okay.
Whichever way you want, cause a plan to be recorded is, your prerogative, right? But right, if it doesn't meet the current zoning, frontage and, lot size requirements, then obviously it would not, qualify for provisioning, the grandfather provisions under the zoning act that, are applicable to approval not required, plans.
Okay.
Which pertains to, like if the zoning changes, you have a lot that's not on common. Like, for example, if they sell lot 2 or 3 to anyone, it's explicitly separate people for that matter, right? These are buildable lots, and even if we change our frontage requirement to 200 feet, or to, I'm sorry,
Yeah.
300 feet more restrictive, or require more acreage, these are still buildable lots.
Because they were approved when they were approved.
Right.
So, I think I would just, let them know, hey, we see, that there, this actually creates 3 new lots,
Mhm.
and therefore we want to collect a fee of $210, and I can arrange that with the applicant and, exchange either an additional check or a new check, after returning the one we have for $140, and take care of business. So I would entertain a motion, to that effect, to, endorse this A&R plan, with that. The chair will follow up with the applicant to, inform them that we determined the fee was $210, as there are 3 buildable lots that are created as a result of this plan.
So
Well, there are now 4 rather than 1.
What's that?
There are now 4 rather than 1.
Right.
Mhm.
3 additional.
Yeah.
So, Michael, that's so moved. Do I hear a second?
Yeah.
Okay. Any further discussion, any misgivings, on on the line there, does anyone have any questions or concerns?
Apparently not.
You know, imagine this land goes up to where bordering Chuck and Joan, where Chuck and Joan had their land that we talked about before. It doesn't really matter. But I believe that's the, one of the boundaries. Doesn't matter.
We have. Okay. All right, I'm gonna, just call the roll with, the planning board members present, Dick here,
Aye.
Weston, and I, Bonner, Beckroff.
Aye.
Wrestler,
Aye.
okay, and I'm an aye, we'll say, motion passes unanimously, I'll follow up with the applicant and then, take care of what needs to be taken care of on that. Okay, that's great. That is going to move us early to our next section of the agenda. I'm gonna hand the meeting over to Michael. To proceed.
Really, or unless you want to call you guys to order.
Well, the select board to order.
Cool. So,
Before you do anything, I'm just gonna note that I'm gonna depart and then you can also designate the associate members. Make sure you say that.
I can do that.
Yes,
If you like information, you know, just to go down.
yeah, sure. But I mean, oh, well,
Have you read the executive session notice, going to executive session?
no, but we're gonna do that. They're gonna do that and take a roll call and all that good stuff.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm packing up though, because I'm just, I guess,
I was just checking what's happening.
Here, and this is your other reading material.
thank you.
You don't get the benefit of the explanation.
That's fine. I get to keep this.
Yeah, just burn it after you do.
All right, I'll burn after reading.
Do you have the agenda handy, or should I look it up? So I can read,
Okay, yeah,
stuff.
I can get that up for
I mean, I could do it
you.
too.
Yeah.
Here we go. Okay, so. The planning board and the select board will enter the executive session for reason number 3. We can discuss strategy with respect to litigation if an open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's litigating position. Litigation specific to complaint received from calls regarding the Shutesbury solar bylaw and Pierce Code, the town council and select board not to return to open session. So we should roll call. Roll call. Yeah. So the two things we should roll call in. We should also decide, if we have to officially have Becky and the associate members be joined in if we were so wanting to do that. Are you leaving?
If I would say that would be helpful.
That's discussion, yes.
Let's get,
Yeah.
you want us to go into executive session first before we start, because you're gonna turn the recording off.
Well, I was
Or
thinking
executive
before we go into executive session, we should figure out who's going in.
Oh, good point.
So, well, the associate members the planning board will invite the associate members in, so that's easy. So, anyone have opinions? Not to, it's a little off. Actually, hey, Becky, can you do me a favor? Can you just step out so we can decide and not make it awkward? Sorry, just giving you your daily exercise. Opinions from the planning board, and then,
I don't feel I know enough to make a decision.
okay,
Opinions regarding,
if Becky should join us,
I'm not sure.
okay.
We have done.
Yeah,
I'm not.
well, she's our counsel. This is what I would propose. The first part of the meeting would be to correct me if I'm wrong, it's like, what we had talked about is basically using this time to inform both boards of the facts. And then the planning board is gonna go deliberate after the select board is gonna leave, and then these guys are gonna deliberate with themselves tomorrow. So I think having Becky here so we can all have the same facts.
Yeah.
Rather than playing telephone tag is probably the best way to go.
And then after that,
After that, the select board will leave us and Becky can leave us and we'll just talk as a planning board.
That's good.
Okay.
Cool.
Okay.
Thank you. So,
You want to use your screen as a dual screen, like, rather than the single screen on the, or no?
hold on one second, let me get back to where we were. There we go. What were you suggesting?
You can use this as one screen and your screen as another.
Oh, more cookie, okay. Is that a Zoom setting or a Windows setting?
Windows 7.
Okay, well, here, let a roll call us in.
Okay.
So,
we just, sorry.
so, you know, roll call into executive session, so do planning board first. What's the,
Weston Inn.
Hycroft Inn.
yeah. Steve, is your hand still up for a question?
No, well, you do know we're still recording.
We're about to go in once we go, I guess we should
Okay.
stop.
Okay,
Can you let us take-
that was my only question. That was
Once
it.
you go into executive session, then you end the recording.
Okay,
Yeah. So Steve, are you joining us?
Yes. aye,
Aye?
You
yes,
want an eye from me?
Yeah, and I'm right. So the planning board is now in executive session. Would the
Okay.
select board like to?
Yeah, the select board is gonna go into executive session for reason number 3. Discuss strategy with respect to litigation. An open meeting may have a detrimental effect on the government's litigating position. Litigation is specific to the complaint received from Coles regarding the Shutesbury solar bylaw, the town council and the planning board. I guess it should be Coles and Pure Stuff.
Second,
Okay, all those in favor, signify by saying aye.
make peace of your life.
Farrell, aye.
Cool.
The last thing we need to do, Michael, is just make sure that everybody, on the screen
Oh,
is,
yes.
is
Hello, no.
not in a place for anybody else.
Steve, Keith, can you verify that you are alone and no one can hear you?
That
yes,
is correct. Yeah, yes, Keith can.
and Steve can.
Okay, thank you.
Donna.
And Donna.
Donna's alone.
Now you can stop recording.
Okay, I'm just gonna look for the setting just after recording.
Display.
Display.
May I come and look over your
Of
shoulder?
course you can. Stop recording. There we go. I got it.